Hi everyone, and we're live. Welcome to the Come Cook With Me show. My name is Laura Hall, and we are coming live to you in Daphne, Alabama. And I am thrilled to be here with you today, and I'm really excited that we have the Mevo camera back up and running. So I don't know what it was. It was the magic of having my guest last week, and we looked it over, and it came to fruition, and it started to work again. So there's a little bit of update for Facebook. And now we get to use it. So now you get to see everything in the kitchen, which I'm really thrilled about. So today we're going to continue with the Asian theme. Last week we made a cashew chicken, where we made a vegetarian vegan style, and we made it traditional style with meat. So today, carrying on with that tradition, we're going to be making a chicken and broccoli with some snow peas. So it's just so uber yummy. I made a couple of modifications for the sauce, so you'll get to see that. Just there was a little tweak. It just, for the gang, for everybody who was eating, and basically for our family, I'll just give you the hint, we didn't have enough garlic, in my opinion, and everyone thought that it was enough, but for our family, we like a little bit more, but maybe it could have been a little bit more spicy, so I'm gonna show you some tricks of how to do that. And again, you're going to be able to tailor this recipe just to yourself, so you don't even have to worry. One thing I want to tell you is, because we're on the Mevo, you may be looking and scrolling and saying, oh my gosh, where's the recipe? When the show is ended, I will put that recipe right above the Mevo. The Mevo camera doesn't work so that I can actually put the recipe in while we're taping live. So as soon as we're done, I'll be sure to put that recipe in so you can actually have it. And if you decide that you want to make this tomorrow, this weekend, well, you'll decide what you want to do. So if you're new to the community, what we love to do is say hello, who we are, where we're from. And it's just one way that, obviously if you're hitting live, you want to hit the love button, the little hearts. That just helps get the feed going to circulation in Facebook. It's kind of part of that algorithm, and it just really helps everyone to be able to see the show. So if you do that, I would so greatly appreciate it. And I hope that you just absolutely love this recipe just like I do. And I am just digging this keto and creating these recipes keto friendly, because I'm coaching a lot, and I'm learning from a guru myself, of somebody who's doing keto, and I'm just like blown away with what I'm learning about how to turn on your fat burning hormones and turning off the fat storing hormones. My God, it could go on forever, and I'll do another live for that later. But let's get started cooking. So if you want to know what we started off with, let's go ahead and do that. Let me show you what we do. If you follow me, you know that this is one of the first things that we do. But if you don't, and this is the first time you've watched the show, you'll see something that I just think is a wonderful thing to do in the kitchen for any meal, and that is to get your roasted garlic. So we had garlic cloves, and I don't know, I think Gilroy, because I look for California grown garlic, but if you're not in the United States, you don't necessarily get Gilroy garlic, but I look for the California garlic just because I know how it's being grown, and I know that it's organic, and that's what I look for. But this town, there's no peeled garlic, so I spent a lot of today, and this is the old-fashioned way. One of my girlfriends, she said, are you nuts? There's cans, there's jars of garlic. Well, what we love to do is we'd like to roast it. And so you have to do it the old-fashioned way, get the cloves peeled out of the actual garlic cloves. So I'm just showing you the type of sleeve that we use. And this one's from Gilroy, California. And so what we do is, once we peel it, we put it in some, you can choose the oil of your choice. I chose avocado oil. So we put avocado oil, and I had lots of pictures that you'll be able to see what it looked like before it actually got roasted. But this is what's left over, and so we're going to use this leftover, we're going to use it in creating a fried cauliflower rice. So really to keep up with the whole keto-friendly recipe. And so if you also follow me, you know that we do this not just in the pressure cookers, but we also do it in the crock pot, because there's so many people who still use the crock pot And it's just a wonderful tool in the kitchen, and I just love it. So let me show you, because this one is actually done. The only thing that's left is to have a little bit of thickening, and I'll tell you how we do that at the end of the show. But let me go ahead and show it to you, what it looks like, so you can see what the finished product looks like. Oh my gosh, it smells so darn good. Let me just show that to you. So all the vegetables, I took many, many pictures as this was in process, and I'm just going to stir it up so you can see what it looks like, and it just looks heavenly. This just is so absolutely gorgeous. So all we like to do is do just a little bit of thickening, and that's a change from last week's recipe. We kind of got it a little too thick, so we're going to take 1 teaspoon of the xanthan gum, and I'll show you how we do that at the end. But doesn't that just look heavenly? So beautiful. Yum. Put the lid back on so it doesn't get cold, and turn it off. Whoop, I thought I did. Oh, it says it's keeping it warm. Well, it will stay warm. It'll be fine. We'll just keep it like that. All right. So that's what you're going to see the finished product look like when you're actually doing it in here. So let me go ahead and tell you how we created this recipe. One of the first things you're going to be doing is making a sauce. And you create the sauce so that your, whatever you're using, this is the completed sauce for the vegan vegetarian, and I'll tell you the difference between the two. There's really one difference in this recipe between the two sauces. But I'm going to make the sauce for the traditional meat with the chicken that's going to go in here. But this one is, let me get my reading glasses back on because I need it. This one, because I've already made it, I've taken 2 spoonfuls of this particular sauce for the vegan vegetarian, and that the rest of the sauce is here. And I've actually been marinating the vegetarian meat. And so what this is, it's called tossables. I didn't save the bag last week, so now everybody can kind of see what it looks like. But these are wonderful gluten-free plant-based protein. And they're called tossables. I like the garlic and herb, but honestly, there's so many great flavors of this in the grocery store. And I just love how vegan and vegetarians, I have several people who are on my team, by the way, that are, and so I just love how many more varieties that they have, you know, for kind of meat choices. So this is a really great brand. I absolutely love it. So it's been marinating, and that's what you want to do. First thing when you make this sauce is once it's finished, you'll get your meat in a bag, and then you'll put your 2 scoops in, do kind of like 1/4 cup. And you'll just let it marinate, and while you're letting it marinate, you're going to get your vegetables ready. And the vegetables that we chose, and the vegetables are really your choice, whatever you like to make. But for chicken and broccoli, our family, we love to use, let me use this spatula. We have some bok choy here in the bottom. We have broccoli, of course. We have some carrots, and I love how, I'll show you how we slice these carrots. We've sliced them on a really wonderful, just a nice plane. So you take your razor edge and you just plane them, and it's just wonderful. They're perfectly thin enough to cook when all the other ones are. And then we have some scallions in here. There are actually some scallions in here, and we also have the pea pods, the snow pea pods. And what we do with the snow pea pods is you just tip off the ends, and voila, you have it ready to go. And that's what are the vegetables. Those are the ones that we actually have chosen. Okay, so I'm just going to put those to the side so you don't have to worry about those. And I'm going to show you how to make the sauce. The sauce is so simple, so easy, but so uber yummy, so darn delicious. It's really great. So this one is going to be for the meat sauce, the meat sauce for the chicken that we have marinating over there. And this one, the difference between the two are just the type of broth that we're using. That's it, so simple. So in the vegetarian vegan broth, we use I love the organic Pacific brand vegetable broth. This is bursting with tons of flavor. It just has so much good flavor. And it has a lower carbohydrate, which I love. So net carbs for a cup are 2, which is wonderful. And you're going to use a cup. That's all you're going to do for the sauce, is you're going to use a cup of the sauce. So let me go ahead and pour in a cup for the chicken sauce, the chicken and broccoli sauce. So this one I use the Pacific bone broth. I love this because it's unsalted, it's organic, and there's really great protein. Again, the sodium level is so low in this. It's one of the lowest sodiums I've ever found. And the carbohydrates, 0. Love that. So you're going to use a cup. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with adding our garlic. So we have 10 cloves of garlic in here. And we're going to use our liquid aminos. The liquid aminos are in place of the soy sauce. They're healthier for you. Again, these are non-GMO, they're organic, there's no MSG, and they're vegan source. So I love that they're less sodium than soy, and they're not a soy product. So I absolutely love it. And there's 1 carbohydrate with this when you use, let's see, yeah, well, we're using 6 tablespoons, so it'll be 5 carbohydrates because it's less than 1. So we're going to use 6 tablespoons of the liquid aminos. There's 1, 2, 3. I have to count out loud. I don't know. And there we go, 6. Wonderful. All right. And so the liquid aminos, the coconut liquid aminos just add such a burst of flavor to it. But my real love of this recipe is the toasted sesame oil. And so you're going to use 2 teaspoons. It adds such beautiful flavor to this. Wonderful recipe. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to use, again, all of my products I look for non-GMO and organic. And so the next thing I'm using is a premium fish sauce. So this is a Thai kitchen, and it has sea salt and it has the label non-GMO. Wonderful, love that. And we're going to be using a full tablespoon of fish sauce. Fish sauce is one of those flavors that you can use it in so many recipes. And what I love about it is it gives all your recipes great flavor without any carbs. Wonderful. And then the next product we're going to use is we're going to use organic apple cider vinegar. I love the one that is non-GMO and it has the mother, which means it's unfiltered. And this is 3/4 of a tablespoon. We're going to take a dropper full of sweet drops. This is non-flavored, and I love this Sweet Leaf. It's a stevia clear brand. 1 dropper full is all we're going to need. That wasn't quite a full one. There we go. And our next product that we're using is a rice wine vinegar. It's just all natural, no sugars, no sodiums. Wonderful product. So you're going to use 2 tablespoons of this rice vinegar. All right, and the next thing we're going to use is our sesame seeds. These are toasted sesame seeds. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons. Perfect. So now it's time, so that you can see how we're going to be cooking these, to turn on our pots. We're nearly finished with this particular recipe. I'm going to be adding a little bit more spices, but I want to get these started to be hot. So once you get that part before you add in the spices, go ahead and turn on your pots to saute. There we go. All right, so these are going to warm up for us, and that'll be perfect. We always cook in the Instant Pot. We typically cook the vegetarian vegan style, and in the MEALTHY pot, we cook the traditional meat, whatever meat we're using in this particular one. And the Crockpot actually has the meat in it as well, so you saw that. Again, your family, your choice. I just love to create a wide variety of dishes for you so that you have a lot to go to. All right, so let's go ahead and add the spices, and the sauce is going to be finished. All right, the first spice we're going to be taking on is a Chinese 5-spice blend. And again, you'll see that most of the ones that I'll use are McCormick. Not always, it just depends on what they have. But I definitely want organic, and I'm always looking for the non-GMO symbol. And don't worry about the recipe. It has the exact quantity. And if there's a flavoring of a spice that you love in your family, by all means, you should be, adding more or less if there's too much. Now, the next one we're using is a Japanese 7-spice, and this is so wonderful. I absolutely love all the spices in here. So, again, you can choose your amount. I put in the specific in the recipe. The next season we're going to use is the sriracha. We have some roasted, crushed red peppers. Oh, this Thai basil. I've had the lid off of this afternoon, and it just is so aromatic. It's just incredible. So you're going to use, I use a little bit less of this Thai basil because it is very strong. And then we have black pepper, coarse brown black pepper. And my ultimate spice, I think it's in almost anything that I cook, is organic cumin. Okay, just put a little more in there. Okay, the last thing that we're going to be adding is ginger. There's 2 teaspoons of fresh grated ginger, and all we do is we take our grater and we peel down the outer layer of the ginger, and we just take the grater and go back and forth. If you watched last week, you saw that Tony, she says always when you're grating, you grate and then tap it so that it really falls off the grater. So that was a really great tip I thought she gave us. Whoop. Okay, so what we're going to do is just dump that in. And I'm just going to stir it all around. And that is the sauce. So once you have the sauce made, again, what you're going to do is, let me just wipe my hands off there. My towel is, where did it go? Let me just use a paper towel. There we go. Okay, so once your sauce is prepared, you're going to get some kind of a baggie, or you can even put it, whatever, lay it flat, and just put 2 scoops, 1/4 cup of your sauce so that it can marinate. And once you're marinating, then it's time to start making those vegetables. But we save some time so we don't have to worry about that. So our sauces are made, and now I'll show you the first part. We're going to be only able to show you the first part, then I'll take pictures of what happens afterward. But what we're going to do is we're going to brown the meat that we have. We're just going to brown it. I've saved some extra garlic so we can have just a little extra garlic at the bottom because not all the meat has enough garlic, so we love to do that. So we're going to use some organic cooking oil, and I'm just going to coat the bottom of the pot so it doesn't stick. And I like this particular brand. It's carrageenan free. It contains medium chain triglycerides, which is very healthy for us. We love to have the MCTs. All right, that is a really hot pot. That's going to sizzle up right away. Oh yeah. It's not going to take long. We're probably going to need to turn off really pretty quickly All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take the tossables first. And we're going to toss in the tossables. Oh, I love that sizzling sound. And we have our chicken that's been sliced. Again, I did this chicken on an angle. I knew I had that. This is for the tossables. We're going to stir that around so it gets nice and browned. Oh gosh, it smells amazing. Get this out of the way. I'm going to brown this chicken up just a little. I'm going to add in just a smidgen more garlic, just so it has some elements of that garlic in it. And this is where I realized if we wanted to add a little bit more flavoring to the chicken, we can. Or you can wait until the second part when we add in the vegetables, and you can test the sauce to see if it's exactly the way you'd like it. So I'm going to go ahead and take just a tablespoon more of garlic. Add that in. Again, that's pretty optional. It depends on how you love garlic. You know, everybody's different. Every family is different. We love garlic in our family. It's just crazy how much we love it. And once it gets a little bit browned, we're going to stop the saute feature. And we're going to add in this sauce. And then we're ready to do the first phase of cooking after this is finished sauteing. Just love how easy this recipe is. Okay, it's getting nice. All right, so I'm going to turn this one off because they hold up really well, but they're not going to brown quite like they're going to get the flavor absorbed into them, which is exactly what we want. And this is almost ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the sauce. This is the one with the vegetable broth. Look at all that yummy, yummy, yumminess. So great. So this is actually ready now to have the top put on. And we'll go ahead and do that while this is finishing up. This one is taking just a little bit longer. We want to get that nice and, actually we can turn that off now too. It's ready. Go ahead and do that. Hit cancel. And since we have this sauce all ready to go, we're going to go ahead and add it in. It's already smelling so delicious. I'm curious, what are your favorite, anyone who's watching today, what are your favorite keto meals? Because I love to create really yummy recipes with what people have as a favorite. And what are your favorite Asian recipes? Because I'm just in this Asian kick of creating a whole bunch of Asian food, which I haven't done. And all of the recipes that we've created, oh, by the way, this is show number 92. So we have 92 shows that we've been a part of and created. So 92 different recipes, which has been just phenomenal. I'm thrilled. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these lids on and get ready to do the first phase of cooking. One of the things you want to do when you put your lids on, you want to make sure they're in there secure, and they'll tell you, they make that noise. So make sure that the pressure is turned off. See, that one was actually turned on, so you always have to check. So you don't want to have that in the open, you want to have it in the closed. You're going to set your timer for 2 minutes, no more, just 2 minutes. And some people who like to have more softer vegetables, you may do it for 1 minute because you're going to be cooking and you don't want your chicken to get too, if you're doing the tossables or the chicken, you don't want to get them like overcooked where they're chewy. So, but we're gonna make our vegetables pretty crisp, kind of al dente. So we're doing 2 minutes of cooking. So you're gonna set it on your pressure cooker on. So I'm gonna set it to pressure cook. And I'm gonna hit start. And I'll set this one, pressure cook. And I need to take that down to 2 minutes. There we go, and it's ready to go. So they'll go ahead, they'll rise to pressure, and they're gonna cook. When they are done, when you hear the beep that it's done, you wanna do a quick release. And as soon as you can take that top off, and that's just saying that it's ready to go. When you take that top off, you do the quick release, take the top off, and then you're gonna hit the button for saute, and when you do that, you're gonna add in your vegetables. Your vegetables are all ready to go. Everything is ready here. And so you'll just put saute, you'll stir it around, and then the last thing you're gonna wanna do, if you wanna have a thicker sauce, and it's totally up to everybody's individual, like Terry shared with us last week. She's like, you know, we don't really like to have that xanthan, we don't like to have a thickening agent because we like to have it kind of like a soup because they actually use a rice. Well, it's really a choice with your preferences, but if you want to use something that's going to be really good, you're going to use a tablespoon. I found last week 2 tablespoons was a little bit too much, so 1 tablespoon would be perfect. We use the Bob's Red Mill, love his company, gluten-free xanthan gum, and it's just a lower carbohydrate thickening agent. So we're just using 1 tablespoon, and you're going to use 2 tablespoons of water, get a little slurry going, and then you can add it in right before you put your vegetables in, so it starts to get a little thick, and then you'll coat all your vegetables together, and that's it. You'll be ready to serve. So while that is going on, you might want to get your cauliflower rice going. And let me show you what we do over here. Over here we have a cauliflower rice. I'll show you what we've done. We've got the same sauce. I've prepared the same sauce. We're not going to use the entire sauce, but I wanted to have extra just in case it needed extra in any one of the, so this is made with the vegetable broth, just in case we needed it with anything. So we're going to use the sauce, get it super hot on your frying pan, and get a little egg and whip it up so that you can have some egg in it. And then once it's really, really hot, the sauce, you want to add in the egg and add in your cauliflower rice. You'll have a beautiful fried rice. So yummy, so delicious, and really calorie conscious. Instead of using rice. When you use rice, and rice is fine for people who are watching their carbohydrates, but when you use rice, you have to really look and see what happens rice in the body. And it's just one of those things that I don't do anymore. So what I love to do when I do that is I have some extra scallions that we're going to actually put into the cauliflower rice. And I found these at the store. I haven't used them yet, and I'm looking forward to using them. But there's some black sesame seeds. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how these taste compared to the toasted sesame seeds. So I'm going to actually use that. When we plate, you'll see we're actually going to plate, and one of the things I love to do is use some scallions when we plate on the top. And I love to take the lemon peel rind and do just a little sprig of lemon peel rind. And we're going to toast it or top it with the black sesame seeds. So you'll look forward to all those pictures in this post later on, either tonight or I'll be uploading them tomorrow, because I do have a meeting tonight, and we're talking about menus for a big group. So I've got my hands full. So they'll probably be uploaded tomorrow or the next day. But always touch back, and I'll post it in here. So if you say hello, who you're from, you'll get a notification that I've actually posted the pictures. I'm going to use some of these spices that we used in the actual sauce. I'm probably going to add a little bit of them, my favorites, into the cauliflower rice as well. So you can choose that as well. That's another great option that you can do. And other than that, that is it for our show today. I am so thankful that you joined us, and I know that if you're on the East Coast, this is much later than what you anticipated, and it was all because of those darn garlic cloves. But you have to do the garlic cloves so that they can be roasted, because that's just how flavorful they are. It changes the recipe versus if you use a hot garlic or even a jarred garlic. But again, if you don't have time or you can't find them, a jarred garlic is just as fine. I mean, it's just going to work just as fine. But make sure it's organic. That's one of the things you want to do. You want to always look for non-GMO, genetically modified organisms. Those change our endocrine systems. They're not. They wreak havoc in our bodies, so you don't want to do that. So with that, sending you a ton of love. Thanks for joining the show. I hope that we'll be doing show number 93 next week. There's a couple of complications that came up in my calendar this week, so if it's not Thursday, we're going to look for an alternative day. But hang with me. I'll try to keep you all aware of what the decision's going to be. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Happy Friday for you tomorrow, and have a wonderful weekend. Sending you tons of love. Have a great night. Thank you.